This movie, Abigail, is like a dream come true. It's like a movie that was made specifically for me. I loved every moment of it. It's incredible. Basically, this movie is like a complete mix between Ready or Not and sort of Resident Evil because of the setting, as well as, I guess, like Let Me In or whatever, because it's about a little vampire girl and stuff. And as well as Don't Breathe, because it's about sort of bad people who put themselves in a situation that turned out to be much worse than they were expecting. I don't think other people are going to love it as much as I do, to be honest. But for the people who it is for the horror fans or thriller fans or whatever, I think you're really going to enjoy it. This is definitely one that's worth a watch. And this is coming from somebody who thought that this looked completely uninteresting before going in to see it. I was like, yeah, it's like possessed child bullshit or vampire child bullshit or whatever it is. It's some sort of scary kid or whatever, and it's going to be paranormal jump scares and all this bullshit. And it's not that. It is so much more interesting than it looks. It is not as generic as you would suspect. It's a hell of a lot more fun than that. And this, you know, should have been expected coming from the directors of Scream 5 and 6 and Ready or Not. But for some reason, just with the marketing and stuff, I wasn't interested. But yeah, this blew me away. It surprised the hell out of me. I recommend everyone go see this thing because it's hella fun. It's so fun. Why did I say hella again? I said that in a couple videos ago and it's not a thing I say, but apparently it is nowadays. Anyway, so Abigail, if you don't know, is a movie about, honestly, a bunch of bad people, a bunch of robbers who are going to kidnap a child. So they go in to kidnap a kid with the intent of getting a ransom from her rich father. Little do they know the kid that they kidnap isn't actually a kid and can do a much better job of defending herself. So when they get locked into this basically spooky Resident Evil mansion for 24 hours, they didn't lock her in with them, they locked themselves in with her. It's that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And so with that being said, yes, this is a silly movie. It's silly as hell, but it knows it. It's self-aware and it is just, I don't know, there's something about it where, like, when it comes to vampire movies in general, usually I'm completely uninterested because of how seriously they take themselves. They're very slow and serious and like, oh, everything is very epic. It's all about the lineage of the vampires usually. Usually it takes itself super seriously, but this is basically half a comedy. I really enjoyed that about this. Like, obviously it's absurd watching this little girl tear people to shreds and everything, and there's already an inherent level of absurd comedy right there. But beyond that, the characters, the dialogue, there's like solid jokes here and everything. It's very meta and it's very modern as well. The characters actually have a lot of personality. They aren't just your generic, you know, teenage group getting killed one by one or whatever. Like, there's actually some writing here. There's a great cast here as well. Catherine Newton, who I like, Melissa Barrera from Scream 5 and 6 and not 7, I guess, anymore. Dan Stevens, Angus Cloud. This is apparently his last role since he died, which is unfortunate. Even though I thought his other movie was the last one, I think any movie that has come out since he died claimed, no, it's me, I'm the last one, you know what I mean? And yeah, I had a really fun time with this movie. Like I said, no expectations going in, but it kind of blew me away. I gave this a 5 on Letterboxd because I just absolutely loved it. There wasn't anything that I could really give saying that I didn't like it, except maybe if I had to nitpick, I was a little confused, and this might have been a dumb me thing. I was a little confused by how the passing of vampirism worked. If you get bit by a vampire, I was a little bit confused about what the consequences were, if that makes any sense. Anyway, just by the way, I should probably talk about Abigail herself, the little vampire girl, right? Fantastic character. She's basically like this weird, creepy ballerina vampire, and there's just something really entertaining about watching this character manipulate her way through all of the characters and, you know, obviously take some of them out. And when she does so, though, it is horrifically violent as well. That's something that I wasn't expecting by this movie either. Looking at the poster, it looked like one of those M-rated or PG-13 if you're in America, sort of just horror movies. I thought it was going to be on the level of Paranormal Activity or whatever, but fuck no. This movie is much more like, well, Ready or Not or whatever. People explode, there's blood everywhere in some moments, people get decapitated, things like that. It's definitely a good one for the gorehounds out there if you're looking for that kind of thing as well. So I guess that's about all I have to say, I think, maybe. Yeah, huge recommend. I fucking love this movie. I love it so much. I'm really enthusiastic about it. Yeah, so before you go, please do that things which are like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit. And I'm Addy. Goodbye.